Now, before I get there, Sadhana tells me I missed some slides here. This is what was created. Shanti Bhavan looks like this. Cottages where various grades live. And this was a place which I discovered when I first arrived after 25 years when I came to India. I came to Bangalore city, which is the Silicon Valley of India, and I said to my driver, a taxi I took, I said, listen, take me out of the city. Take me to a village. Take me to a poor village. I want to see what India looks like. Take me somewhere. He said, no problem. He started driving in one direction, and I ended up, within 35 minutes, I ended up in a village. And it looked so different. It has nothing to do with Bangalore city. It is totally different. And within another half an hour, I was deep in rural India. And he stopped by a lake, and he said, this is a place that I come from. It's very, very poor. Very, very poor. There's female infanticide. Most of the people are without food to eat. Healthcare is terrible. Schools don't run. And there is a piece of land on the other side of the lake. If you want to buy, you can buy. So I said, okay, looks very good, looks pretty. I rolled up my trousers, took off my shoes, and went through the lake. Lake wasn't very deep. There was no road. I ended up on the hill. And he said, be very careful. It's full of snakes here and scorpions. Oh, my God. And so I climbed on top of a rock and looked around. It was so beautiful, beautiful place. I was watching for the snakes too. But, and that same day, he took me to a Gowda. Gowda is a landlord. And I negotiated with him. He was talking Kannada, and I was talking English, and this guy was translating for me. I don't know what he was translating, but I finally negotiated a price. I think he made a big killing out of me. If I had known the language, I could have done a better job negotiating the price. But anyway, I bought the 30 acres of land from him. Same day. And it was a barren hill. Still, you can see the far distance. There is nothing there. Eucalyptus trees, scorpions and snakes, and that's about it. And today it looks absolutely gorgeous. Okay, that, by the way, is India. Okay, these are cottages that you see, cottages where each grade stays, like that. And we have volunteers from all over the world. We had NYU volunteers, we have Spain, British, Canadian, 15 volunteers at a time. They stay there, they do such wonderful work. They're part of the family, and a number of them are here today. It's become a big family. Shanti Bhavan now belongs to the people who are looking after the school. I might have started it, but it's not anymore mine. You don't live forever. It's everybody's place. So that's where it is. And this is the principal who was with me from the beginning, Lalita, and this is like a classroom. And the goal is to make leaders of the society. It's a very ambitious goal. You take an untouchable, so-called untouchable child, put through a boarding school type of education, send them to college. Now we have to take care of their college studies. Until they are employed, we have to look after them. Their parents have no knowledge of any subject or anything. They are illiterate people. They are not capable of making any decisions. They can't even write an application or anything like that. We have to do everything. And but you can see it's no different from an American good school. Here are my 3 girls here. How lovely they are, and you can see the excitement in them. This is one model, Shanti Bhavan, where you are trying to have a big impact on few children. But there is another model for the rest of the children, and that is improving government schools. This school is supported by us. It's run by the government, but we train teachers to supplement that school. We fix the toilets. We fix the roof. We make sure water is there. We make sure there is library books are there. And we hold the teachers accountable. And we give them an incentive if the children meet our standards. We test them separately. We test them. We tell them what the test will look like. At the end of 6 months, we test them. And if the children do well, we pay the government teachers a stipend. So we are trying to innovate ways of improving the quality of the education. And this costs much less, but outcome, is better than what it used to be. That's all I can claim. It's not going to make, dramatic impact, but certainly an improvement. So these are some of the things that we do for government schools. Now, as I started doing work with Shanti Bhavan, I realized that the poverty problem is very complicated. Education was one thing that I thought I would do, but then that's not enough. Education is going to have an impact, say, 15 years from today. So what happens in the meantime? If people are poor, they're not going to send their children to school. They want them to work in the farm. If children are poor, they're not, going to have food and they'll be sick. So we have to worry about the short term. And so the approach for short term has to be very, very distinct. And it has to be for adults mainly, so that they can create income, look after their families, so that I can do my long term. Without taking care of short term, there is no long term. Then I began to think through the poverty model from 3 different dimensions. First is basic services, second is income generation, and third is community development. It's just my way of looking at it. There are different ways of looking at it. This is not the only way. This is not any established way of looking at it. And in basic services, you have to provide quality education or good education or better education, both a school like Shanti Bhavan or public area public schools, and you've got to provide health care. Unless people are healthy, they are not going to be able to be productive and go to school and so on. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And housing. Unless their houses are comfortable to live in, it's very, very difficult to, for them to survive. So I look at basic services in that way. Now, I talked about education so far. I just quickly go through the Baldev medical. So we decided to open a clinic, a 10-bed hospital type of thing, where people could come for medical care. And you can see the people gathering for a camp. A camp is, medical camp is like 1 month you might have for 2 days, something to do with, say, a skin disorder or pulmonary problem or gynecological, or it could be any number of things, and people all come that day for that particular thing, and we take care of those needs, in addition to normal visits by people. The nature of the poor people is that they don't come to a clinic or a hospital for preventive care. They only come when their condition is pretty bad. So you have to reach out to them.